she works 9 to 5 or whatever, and she likes her job too. But when she comes home. But I'm still out farting about making brews and ferments and.
Why? What else do you make?
Oh, sorry. Well,
when you say brews or ferments,
well, this is it. Okay, so all the things that I do on the farm, I brew up seaweed. I do ferments. So I make a lactobacillus ferment,
which is
it's a bacteria. Okay,
for
everything.
Like a supplement.
No, well, yeah. Well, it's okay. I use it to protect my plants from other non-negative or bad bacteria. So on your skin, generally speaking, you don't have problems until you're run down or there's a problem, and then the next thing is you'll get a rash or something can happen. Okay, so plants are the same. They, generally speaking, are relatively healthy. Like you look on the side of the ditch, most of the plants you'll see there are, fairly healthy looking plants. Okay. So they're covered in a whole layer of bacteria, fungi that are looking after that plant. So I then, to protect my crops that are in the field, will go and make a ferment using other plants. And lactobacillus, and I'll then spray that over everything to help protect the crop, okay, and keep it as healthy as possible for as long as possible. The fact that it's a biological thing, you actually have to go a little bit more often. So I make a ferment of lactobacillus, and then I will fortify that with different types of plants throughout the year when I need different things. So as the plant is growing, it will need different inputs. And then I will go and ferment, say, a nettle plant, and I'll use it and I'll spray it on, and it'll give what the plant needs as it's growing then. Or later on, then there's another one that I'll use as horsetail. So I'll ferment a horsetail, mare's tail or whatever, and spray that on.
Is that to prevent a certain... like insects or bacteria?
It can be
both.
It's both, and fungi more so in this climate. So I'll use a horsetail, which is extracting silica.
Is horsetail? Is that
mare's
a
tail.
fungi? No,
it's a plant. It's a very, very old plant. It doesn't have a xylem and a phloem, and it grows on the edge of fields in damp areas, and it'll pull lots and lots of silica out of the soil. So, and then you use silica then to strengthen the cell walls of your plant to protect it from pathogens, namely fungi.
Yeah, because I spoke to Dean, Mervyn.
Oh, yeah.
Mervyn and...
in base.
Yes, in base, which you're part of. Yeah. And obviously that's how we connected. But he talked about... I had a good chat with him, and the plants and the insects, and there's this... I would say understanding that insects are bad for the plants, for certain insects, so they come, and if you're growing a monocrop or whatever, that's a bad thing. But I think he was explaining to me that it's not, or I couldn't fully understand it, but it sounded really interesting. It was just, there was a knock-on effect. It was about the biodiversity of the plants and how it actually benefits all the different insects coming to the plants. Yeah,
hugely.
Yeah. Do you know much about that?
Okay, well, the one I think he was talking about was an aphid, which you'll have in your roses as well, or your black fly or green fly on your your
That's veg. What he did talk about, the green fly.
That is, they digest a really short carbon sugar. Okay, so they like a particular type of food. Okay, if you've got a healthy plant, it will have a more complex sugar within it. Okay. So to build that more complex sugar, you need to go slower. So basically that problem is caused by excessive nitrogen or too much nitrogen too early. Okay.
And the nitrogen is in the soil?
The nitrogen you apply to the soil is taken up by the plant, and if it's taken up rapidly, it will cause that. How are you
applying the nitrogen, sorry?
That doesn't matter. If it's too high, if it's there in the soil, if it's there already, if there's too much nitrogen brought up into the plant, the aphid will be attracted to it. So in a way, it's nature's way of getting rid of a food that it feels is not going to be strong enough or got enough vitality. Okay, so it's cleaning. It's like, it's not a good thing.
So that to have an nitrogen is through fertilizer?
Yeah, through fertilizer. It's over fertilization.
What's happening then in the soil if you put fertilizer in?
Now, that's a totally different question, and that's huge. Okay, so fertilizer is a salt, essentially. So you spread it on the soil.
It's predominantly seen
when was the last
good,
time did you ever have a cut on your finger and you put it into the salt? Do you remember what happened?
Oh, I can't remember.
Yeah, well, it stings. It stings a lot.
Well, it's funny. I do remember putting my hands in fertilizer as a kid.
Yeah.
And I definitely felt a sting.
Exactly. There you go. Right. So you've got a really potent salt, okay, because you want it to split and the plant to take it all up. Okay, there are other downsides to that, is it's then soluble and will disappear off if there's a lot of rainfall. But you've got a salt there. Where are we going with this?
What happens in the soil when you...
What happens in the soil? Okay, a lot of what happens is the biology, like your hands, wants to get away from it. Doesn't want to have anything to do with it.
Stinging,
because it's reacting with its skin, it's stinging, it's burning it. Okay, so I remember hearing somebody saying years ago.
So when you get away, is it killing it?
Yeah. Well, if you spill, if something happened to the edge of the field when you were driving in through the gate and a little bit of fertilizer went out around the back, the next thing you'd see about 10 days later was a bare patch where everything was dead in there.
So that is the biology, is that the microbes?
That is their microbes really not liking that amount of salt, and it's having a really negative effect on it. Okay, so why go putting something, and I can't remember, was it, Christine Jones, I think it was, said that if you go over 15 units of nitrogen, which is an amount that it's, which is not a lot, it has an adverse effect on the biology in the soil. Okay. It's like you sitting down to a meal and not being able to digest it all or eat it all. It's not good. So a little and often is way better than one big amount when it comes to that.
What is the information then that is being fed out with the nitrogen? Because if it's not, or with the fertilizer, because if it's not good for the soil, obviously there's...
But it can be good for the crop, okay? It has a positive effect on the crop, or it has a desired effect on the crop, okay? But
so the crops in the... Sorry, I'm just trying to understand this. The crops in the soil, there's no biology to feed it, but the fertilizer's feeding it then?
Well, see, that's in a conventional system, okay? Yeah. Whereas what I'm trying to do in an organic scenario is to get my soil humming with microbes. So I'm trying to feed the microbes and get them what they call cycling. And you get into a situation whereby you have bugs living and dying. And the bug dying is actually, it's called necromancy. And it's, you're providing a source of nitrogen to your plants, but it's biologically active and it's stable. So if I feed my soil, I have my bugs growing and living. As they die, they're then feeding my crop. Okay. And I heard you earlier mentioning Gaia. Gaia is this thing of breathing in and breathing out the soil. So you feed the soil in the autumn when things are quietening down. Okay. And then in the spring, Gaia gives out. Okay. So you don't want to be going in with lots of chemical fertilizer in the spring. And I know chemical farming or traditional farming has been using a lot of fertilizer in the spring to boost growth and go with that. But that's not working in conjunction with your soil biology. It's essentially working against. Yeah. Now, don't get me wrong. It does work. You do get a crop response. But at what cost?
Yeah. What does that cost?
And I don't know anything about the quantifying that or
but you like obviously we spoke a little bit too, and you talked about there's people doing research and it's the gut health that comes back. So we're eating food then it's less not as nutrient dense.
Yeah,
and it's kind of, I would say, probably blown up.
Yeah, well, we talked about that, and Dan Kettridge trying to quantify the nutrient density of food. I think my personal view on it is that if you have a soil that is buzzing and you have everything, you'll bring more to the party. Now, he's very quick to say that there can be bad organic farmers with low nutrient density, and there can be bad conventional farmers with low nutrient density, but he also said there can be very good conventional farmers with very high nutrient density.